Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen, and this is Jewelry with Jen. If you're returning or you're new, welcome aboard and welcome back. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you like my video at the end, please give me a thumbs up like. And if there's anything that I'm going through today that you are questioning or maybe you're wondering about if I haven't covered it, go ahead and feel free to ask me questions in the comment section. I'm pretty quick to respond, so I'd be happy to respond. So utilize that comment section. So let's go over the supplies you'll need for today's project. If you feel inspired, that definitely makes me happy. I love to inspire and pay forward ideas and things that you might not think of yourself to make a similar project like this, then that is awesome. So I'll go over exactly what you will need to make this project. I will put in the description the beads and components and things that I'm using today, but you can still apply this technique if you don't know how to make a beaded wire bracelet using a clasp. Then you will learn a lot in this video today. But this can apply to any design. So let's go over the tools that you need. So I have my bead board out for my measuring. Go ahead and cut yourself a good, at least I'd say about a 10-inch piece of wire. I always like to give myself extra wire. I don't like to waste because, we all know, wire is probably the most expensive thing that we buy in all of our jewelry supplies, but I never want to short myself. And then I have to cut more wire and I've really lost. So cut yourself a decent size of wire. I went ahead and cut probably about a good 10-inch piece, even though I'm making about a 7¼ inch. I want to have room. So you're going to cut yourself a 10-inch piece of wire. The wire I'm using today is the 0.018 inch 19-strand Beadalon. It's in satin gold. And you don't have to use this wire, by the way. This is a 0.018 inch. But you can use a 0.019 inch. And you can use a 19 strand or a 49 strand. Either is probably going to work with this project. So that's the wire we have. Then the other things that you're going to need are we have two #1 crimp beads. We're going to have 2 crimp covers. I have a headpin, a 3-inch headpin here, because I'm thinking about making a dangle. So we'll make the dangle together. And then I have a cute little, it's like a wreath, and it's in a beautiful copper color. It's a toggle clasp, and it's in a wreath. So I kind of feel like it goes with the theme of this darker color jewelry. And then we are going to use a bunch of different tools. You'll need your crimpers. You'll need your flush cutters. You will need a bead stopper if you've got one. If not, grab a binder clip or any kind of a clip, bag clip or something that comes out of your kitchen. And then we will be using bent nose and chain nose pliers today, as well as my round nose pliers. So let's go ahead and jump into this bracelet project. So I've already cut my wire. I've already laid out my design. I'm going to throw my bead stopper on the end of my wire. And I'm just going to go ahead and start beading my beads on the wire in the order that I've designed them. Bead. Okay. So here is what the design is that I've come up with. I think that's beautiful. Really pretty mix of color. I like that. Okay, so let me pull this down on my bead stopper on one side, and this is where we'd like to, of course, let's measure for good, for good measure, covering our bases, and I'm a little bit shy, so now that I've gotten them on there, they're all nice and snug, I'll put that at my center, and yeah, I'm just at the 3, so I need a couple more beads, so that's fine. I'll continue this design I have here at the end. I'll grab a couple more here, and we'll just add on, let's see if we can get away with just 3 more. Or 2 more on each side, rather. Let's see how that worked out. See if that gives us what we need. I think it does. Perfect. Okay, so now we've strung on our beads on our wire. And the next step is we just need to finish it off. Oh, I forgot the dangle, guys. See, I gelled again. See, I do that all the time. I get so into talking to you guys and just feeling like I'm connecting with the world, with the outside world, and then I forget what I'm doing. Okay, so let's make our dangle. Grab a head pin. This is a 3-inch head pin that's flat on the bottom, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use 4 of the beads that are in here, the small little lavender bicones, and these cute little rondelles, and they're like in a mustard color. Just gonna feed 4 of those on, and we'll make ourselves a cute little dangle. So that's what I did. And now, in order to make our loop, oh, I forgot a tool, my flat nose, sorry. Okay, so you'll allow that wire to just go over your, you're just gonna wanna have like about, put the flat nose pliers right at the top of your finger at about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch. We don't need much of a loop. And then you're just gonna bend that forward on a right angle. So now that's what we have. And now we can go ahead and get rid of that wire. So I'm gonna clip it right there. Now I'm gonna grab my round nose pliers and we'll go ahead and make a loop. Just put that wire at the end of my pliers without any wires sticking out the other side. And we're just gonna keep looping it forward until it touches the other side. And you might have to do it, I cut myself a little short there, but that's okay, we'll work it out. You might have to do it a few times if you do what I just did, which is short yourself a little, but this is why we have tools. We'll modify and we will be golden. Yep, just like, and that is how it is done. And now I will bend it back. Make it straight. Okay, so let me grab the chain nose and hold that there. And so I just made myself a little dangle with my little loop on the top. And so that's going to be for the end. So now we can go ahead and let's just add our clasp. So we're going to pick up a crimp bead or crimp tube, whatever you're using. Let it drop down, and let me pull this over a little bit. It's a little bit too much wire going on there. Okay, let your crimp bead fall down there. And you know what I feel like I need to do? I need to move this onto the mat. Let me do a quick modification. Okay, so we let that crimp bead drop down, and then we are gonna pick up our toggle, and we're gonna feed the wire through the top of the toggle, and now around, we will come back around, grab our crimp bead, feed that tail now through the crimp. Okay, and pull it up to where it's pretty close, like that. I've got it pretty close, but I've got a little bit of room. You want to have room for your clasp to move, right? So you don't want to make it too tight because you definitely want to have room there. So I'll pull it down just a smidge so we have room. Okay, very good. And now we'll go ahead and crimp that off. So great, get your crimping tool. You're gonna hold your wire and your tail separately so they're not overlapping. And we'll go ahead and crimp that. Make sure that I have enough room. Yep, I do. Okay, so we crimped our bead. I'll grab my copper colored crimp cover here. We'll snap that over the crimp bead. And we'll go ahead and close that up. So that'll make it a nice finish at the end there. I'll get my chain nose pliers. And we'll go ahead and close that up. You want to do it gently, kind of rocking back and forth from top to bottom. Getting it to look like a round bead. And sometimes what happens is what just happened to me there is it'll go diagonal and then it doesn't want to look perfect. So you just have to kind of get in there with your chain nose pliers and straighten it out. And that's, if you're wondering what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Fix that perfectly. Okay, very good. I think he looks pretty good. There's a little space there. Let me fix that. Okay, that looks better. Okay, and so now that's what we have. And now what you're going to want to do on a bracelet, I like to go up a couple of beads, 2 or 3, to be honest. So I'm going to feed on 3 beads, and I'm going to push them up. Then I'm going to get rid of my tail. And now we can let the rest of our beads drop down here. And now what we're going to do is we are going to pick up a crimp bead, let it drop down, make sure your beads are flush on this other side here. It's got too much in my way. Okay, and now I'm going to put my dangle on. So my dangle is going to hang there at the end. And then I am going to put on my the bar part of my toggle and let that drop down. And now I will go back to get my crimp bead. And now I will feed the tail back through the crimp bead. And 2 or 3 of your beads. You can do 1. It's whatever you're comfortable with. There are really no rules. It's just preference. And now what I'm going to do is while I'm holding the bar of my clasp and the tail of my wire, and notice I have my bracelet in a round, kind of a half moon there. Also, I made sure that they're all tied up at the top. Now I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to pull that down. Okay, just like that. And we want to make sure that our beads are going to move, especially because it's going to be on the wrist. And they are moving nicely. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and, while holding that tail, go ahead and crimp that bead first. Let's get that crimped. Okay. And now that's what I did on this end. So I put a little dangle with my bar, the other part of my toggle, and then we have a crimp bead. And so that's what that finished side looks like. And I'll fold it in half, and that's what we have. So let's see if we can put it on, what it looks like. And so that's what we have. That's what we made today. a 7¼ inch regular beaded bracelet with a toggle clasp and using crimp covers and a little toggle on the end. Very simple. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you'll join me in the coming days and weeks and months here of the holiday season. I have lots of fun stuff in store, so I sure hope you guys will come back. I look forward to sharing all my creative juices that are flowing for these gorgeous holiday colors and Christmas colors in the season that we're upon. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification, and then you'll be notified when I put up new videos, and you won't miss anything. So thanks so much for joining me today, friends, and until next time, be blessed.